my channel. So one of Derek's alleged ex-fiance have came out of the woodwork. Her name is Miss Nisha, and she went on Geo Malik's YouTube channel a few days ago, and she spilled a lot of tea on her relationship with Derek, and she even had a lot to say about Monique. And then last night, Monique went live on her Instagram, and she responded to a lot of things that Miss Nisha had to say. So Monique was trying to make Miss Nisha kind of sound crazy. She's like, oh, did she tell you guys she got Derek's name tattooed on her while she was dating Derek in prison and she'd never met him? And so according to Miss Nisha, she dated Derek from 2019 to 2021 and they were engaged, and she was sending him money for him to save up for an apartment for them when he got out of prison. So Miss Nisha said that she sent Derek and some of his other inmate friends he was locked up with over $17,000. So Nisha met Derek on a pen pal website. And a little background about Miss Nisha. She's 41 years old. She's a former police officer. And she said she just came across Derek's ad, started writing him, and she said one day Monique started calling her from a blocked number and was harassing her, and Nisha claims that Derek gave Monique all her information. And then she said that one day Derek accidentally called her Mo, and then Miss Nisha was like, look, I know you're still talking to Monique, you accidentally called me Mo. And Derek was like, no, my mom's middle name's Mo, my sister's middle name's Mo, and just acted like it was a slip up. And she claims she never talked to Derek again after that. So Nisha knew about Monique after Monique called her, and Derek ended up admitting he talked to Monique. But Miss Nisha claimed that Derek told her that Monique was a crazy pregnant girl who was obsessed with him and did dirty work for him, like sending packages in the jail. And this is all alleged for Miss Nisha. And she said those are all things that Miss Nisha refused to do. So Monique is saying the same thing about Miss Nisha. She's claiming that Miss Nisha is just a crazy obsessed girl that used to mess with Derek before her, and she's just mad because Derek's with Monique now. But Monique said that she's been dating Derek for over 3 years now, so that means they've been having a date since around 2020. So Miss Nisha says she's with Derek from 2019 to 2021. So according to Miss Nisha, there's 1 year that he was dating both of them, which Monique is denying, but we'll get more into her response in a second. So according to Miss Nisha, she took credit for getting Derek's credit score to where it is today. She said when she met Derek while he was in prison, he had no credit, and she got a few credit cards out in her name, and Derek was able to spend money and use it, and he was part of the card. So then she would go make purchases and she would pay out the credit card bill. So in return, Derek's credit score went up. So when her and Derek quit talking, she claims that Derek and Monique stole her identity and ran up over $2,000 in credit card bills on her credit card that she said she had to end up paying back. And she said that she decided to take the legal route and take legal action, and she's now going to take Monique and Derek to court to hold them financially and legally responsible for what they've done. Some people are wondering why she suddenly is now deciding to come out and sue them a few years later after it happened. But Monique claims she's already tried to take them to court in the past. And Monique claims that they didn't have enough evidence, so they ended up dismissing the case. So Monique claims that Miss Nisha really didn't even have a case to begin with, but the only reason they decided to take it on was because Miss Nisha claimed that Monique ended up threatening her life. Also, for those of you guys who didn't see the live, Miss Nisha was able to provide a lot of receipts that prove that she was in Derek's life and that they were actually engaged. She shared letters. She shared baby pictures that had never before been seen. She shared JPay receipts. She was the one who actually bought Derek the tablet that he had on the show, and she was one of the big booty girls in the videos that he was showing to his brother on the show. A big thing for me is, why the hell would you give a felon in federal prison your social security card number and information to give them the ability to steal your identity? Like Miss Nisha said that, look, Derek shared his social security number, his birth certificate, all that stuff with Miss Nisha. So Miss Nisha thought she was really special. She was like, hey, he shared his stuff with me, so I'm fine with sharing my stuff with him because we have that trust. And they were currently engaged at the time. But here's the thing. Derek's information is pretty much useless if he doesn't have any credit. There's really not much you can do with it. And he is literally in prison. And Miss Nisha she has a good credit score and she's good with her finances. So her information is very valuable to Derek, but his is pretty much worthless to her. So she's not understanding that. And so she has so much more to lose compared to him. So that wasn't very smart at all, in my opinion. And Miss Nisha was very beautiful. Like, she didn't go into detail about what she currently does for a living. But like I said, she was a former police officer, which is another thing that shocked me, like that she actually fell for this. It seems like she was very naive in her engagement with Derek and was way too trusting with him. And we know Derek did the same stuff with Monique. He gave Monique all his personal information because Monique had it all for him when he got out of prison. They had to go to the bank and open a bank account because remember he was, yelling at her at the bank, demanding her to pull up his birth certificate and this and that. And he was smart about how he moved with Miss Nisha, though, because instead of asking Miss Nisha for money up front when he first started talking to her, he actually started sending her money, and he said that he wanted her to have it, to pay the bills, get her nails done. So she was all like wooed, and she's like, wow, this dude's taking care of me. Maybe he's a real one. And she started talking to him, and next thing you know, she was the one having to send him money. And then she said she ended up sending him over $17,000 between him and other inmates that he had her send money to. So she really thought, ooh, he different as an inmate sending her money at first. But I think that was just a manipulation tactic to not scare her off and make her come in for the long haul. And when she got attached, then he started asking for money all the time. So, of course, Monique was defending Derek. She's going to defend that man until the death of her. And she kept saying Miss Nisha should have known better. She's 41 years old. She should know better. Which she should have. But at the same time, Monique really doesn't have any room to talk. Because, look, Derek has cheated with 10 plus women. And you're still defending this. So Monique claims that Miss Nisha is a liar, and she says that she has receipts that she's going to eventually post that will shut everything down that Miss Nisha is saying. But she's yet to post the receipts, and Monique claims that she recorded the phone conversation that she had with Miss Nisha when she called her, and Miss Nisha said that she was Derek's fiance, and Monique said that while she was on the phone with Miss Nisha, Derek actually called her on the other line, and Monique put them on three-way, but Derek was being quiet in the background, so Miss Nisha had no idea that Derek was on the line too. And Monique said that as soon as Derek heard Miss Nisha's voice, he hurried up and hung up. And Monique was laughing about it like it was cute or something. But in my opinion, that's just you being guilty as hell right there. And that's why I think he hung up, because he knew that he was about to be caught in a lie. And Monique claims that Derek never talked to Miss Nisha again after that. And Monique also claims that Miss Nisha tried to charge Derek with harassment. So they ended up pulling all his prison call logs. And Monique claims in court that they showed the receipts, and it showed that Derek didn't try contacting Miss Nisha after they broke up. So they ended up throwing out the case and dismissing it because they did not have any evidence to back up that Derek was harassing Miss Nisha. And Miss Nisha claims that Derek said Monique was just a crazy pregnant girl with no job, no money, no card, nothing. And Monique pretty much said the same exact thing about Miss Nisha. She's like, look, she's broke, she lives with her mom, she don't have nothing, she don't got no man. Even though your man's for everybody. So remember that scene when Monique and Derek was laying in the bed, and all of a sudden there's all these phone calls and they weren't answering the phone, and a lot of people thought that it was Derek not answering the phone and he was being a sneaky little snake. But it actually was Monique. She ended up admitting on Instagram that it was actually her phone that he was holding. And Monique said in this live that those phone calls she was getting in that scene was actually for Miss Nisha calling her phone and harassing them. And this is not the CEO who was chasing them. This is a whole nother girl who was allegedly engaged to Derek for over 2 years, which she showed the receipts of letters confirming that they were engaged and Derek was calling her his fiance. And I just think with Monique, it seems like with Monique, Derek can do no wrong in her eyes. Of course, it's always everyone else's fault, and she was just blaming Miss Nisha the whole time. But there's one common denominator in this whole thing, and that's Derek. And Monique also said that she has been arrested once in her life. She was arrested when she was 17 years old for battery. I never heard her talk about that, so I just wanted to make note of that. But that's it for this video, guys. That's everything that Monique had to say in response to Miss Nisha. She claims that they've already had to go to court for all this, and it all got thrown out. And if you haven't seen the interview that Gio Malik did with Miss Nisha, which is Derek's former fiance, I will leave it linked in the description. I'm honestly shocked that there hasn't been more women come forward or anybody else come out before this spilling the tea on Derek, because I'm sure there's more, plenty more Monique and Miss Nishas out there that Derek played while he was in prison. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts about everything in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.